Good afternoon, folks. And today we're gonna talk about the Ohio State Oregon rivalry. Now, it all goes back to historic time. Now, Ohio State has taken on Oregon in two different Rose Bowls. I mean, you gotta literally go back decades, and I mean decades. And these decades literally go back to like when things were like big. And I mean big. And Ohio State literally played some pretty good teams back in the good old days. Ohio State literally was phenomenal. And back in those times, Ohio State was good. Ohio State is 9-1 overall. The last game, Ohio State lost 35-28. Now we're going to go down the line here and actually do some box scores with every single one of the times Ohio State ever played. Ohio State, the first ever meeting between the two, Ohio State played Oregon in the Rose Bowl, in the 1958 Rose Bowl. Ohio State won 10-7 single-handedly. And to start it all off in the first quarter, Ohio State started off with number 20 with the quarterback, number 22, Frank Kremblas, 1-yard run, and he kicked the extra point 7-0. And then Oregon running back number 22, Jim Shanley, ran it in from 5 yards out. Number 40, Jack Morris, makes the extra point, tie game. Fourth quarter, number 45, Don Southern, kicks the field goal from 34 yards out, 10-7, that's our ball game. Final score 10-7 for the first meet between the two. And then we got to figure out how it went from there. Then you have 1961, home between Ohio State and Oregon. Number 19, Bob Klein, ran in the first quarter. Bob Klein ran 72 yards, scored a touchdown. Number 44, Ed Ulmer, went for two and scored 8-0. Second quarter, number 46, Bob Ferguson, ran 7 yards out. Then number 20, Ben Jones, makes the extra point, 15-0. Then third quarter, Oregon's number 34, Mike Gatcher, gets them from 5 yards out. Extra point is no good. 15-6. Ferguson again, 6 yards out. Jones makes the extra point, 22-6. Then Gatcher again, 1 yard out. 2-point try fails. That's in 61. Then in 62, Ohio State is home again. In the first quarter, quarterback Bill Marshallski runs it in from 4 yards out. Bill Mamula makes the extra point, 7-0. Second quarter, Marowski again, 4-yard run. Kick no good, 13-0. Then running back from Oregon, number 20, Mel Renfro, runs it in from 7 yards out. Renfro kicks. It's 13-7. Third quarter, number 33, Dave Francis, 8 yards out. Gets it for 2-point tries, no good, 19-7. Then the fourth quarter, number 30, David Caterenich gets it from 8 yards out. Mamula kicks the extra point, 26-7. There you have it in 62. Then we have a long recess between the two. Well, then we have a little bit of a gap between the two. Then a series begins again in 67 between the Ducks and the Buckeyes. On the road, they open up a brand new stadium. Oregon does. And I say again, a brand new stadium, which is the current stadium they're in, Autzen Stadium. And this is the brand new one. Second game, brand new. Number 14, Paul Huff, runs it in from 21 yards out, scores a touchdown. Gets the number 90, Gary Cairns kicks the extra point, 7-0. Huff again, 4 yards out. Cairns kicks the extra point, 14-0. Second quarter, Cairns 35-yard field goal, 17-0. Then Jim Otis, 5-yard run, Cairns 24-0. Then Rudy Hubbard, 5-yard run, kick no good, 30-0. This is no wonder why Oregon hates Ohio State's guts. Every time you bring up 1967 Ohio State versus Oregon, every Oregon fan will hate you because we blanked them at their opening round at their house, 30-0. That will be the thing about them. And then home. And then in 68, we took them back home and won 21-6. First quarter, Mike Polanski, 9-yard, blocks a 9-yard punt attempt and returns it for a touchdown. Number 3, Mike Sensabaugh, makes the extra point. Then Oregon's Tom Blanchard gets it in from 1 yard out. Number 17, Tom Blanchard, gets it in from 1 yard out for Oregon. Extra point attempt is no good. 7-6 going into halftime. But then Jim Otis, number 35, gets in from 35 yards out. Sensabaugh again. Extra point, 14-6. And then in the fourth quarter, Bruce Jankowski, gets a 55-yard pass from everyone knows who he is, number 18, Ron Mashawowski. And Sensabaugh kicks the extra point to make it 21-6. Mashawowski, that is. And then we have a long period of waiting in 83 when Ohio State is home against Oregon. In the first quarter, Ohio State took on a very good Oregon team. When OSU quarterback, when number 89, John Frank, got a 37-yard pass from number 15, Mike Tomczak. Then number 88, Paul Allen, kicks the extra point to make it 7-0. Then they keep it going in the first when number 88, Thad Jamison, gets the 24-yard pass from Tomczak. 14-0. Then Oregon finally answers when number 81, Lou Barnes, gets a 25-yard pass from number 12, Chris Miller. Kicks no good, 14-6. Second quarter, number 22, Cedric Anderson of Ohio State, gets a 5-yard pass from Tomczak. Kick is good, 21-6. Then the third quarter, Keith Byers gets a 24-yard pass from Tomczak. Extra point is good, 28-6 by Allen. And then Allen kicks a 39-yard field goal in the fourth quarter to make it 31-6. Then we go on to in 87, the year that Earl Bruce was fired from Ohio State. When Earl Bruce took on Oregon, Matt France, number 12, Matt France, kicks the field goal, 3-0 in the first quarter. It was held for a long 3-0 for a long time till the third quarter when number 82, Jay Cook, got a 4-yard pass from number 19, Tom Tupa. France made the extra point to make it 10-0. The number 48, George Cooper, gets a 19-yard pass from Tupa. Then France made the extra point to make it 17-0. Then finally, the fourth quarter, number 20, Derek Lovell of Oregon, gets a 15-yard, makes it in from 15 yards out. Then number 9, Kirk Dennis, makes the extra point, 17-7. And then Lovell again, 21 yards out, gets it in the end zone, and Dennis kicks the extra point to make it 17-14. We got ourselves a game here. But then, number 42 from Ohio State, Vince Workman, gets it in from 24 yards out, and France makes the extra point to seal the deal for Ohio State, 24-14. Very good series. And then, lo and behold, the Rose Bowls. The next Rose Bowl comes around for Ohio State versus Oregon. I have to get to that page here, so bear with me. As I talk about that, Ohio State played some pretty daggone good teams throughout its series. Now, I will do another series, but this time it'll be on Michigan versus Oregon. And Michigan leads that series, actually, which is kind of weird. You should talk about that, because they've led the series by a decent large margin, actually. And right now, if you actually look at the numbers, it actually measures for their scores. Oh, man. Well, I can't seem to find the page. I'm sorry for that. But they won 26-17. Or Ohio State did. Ohio State started the game off on a 7-0 score. They started off 7-0. And then they answered on another score. They answered on the next score of making it a 14-0, but Oregon made it 7-all. Made it, 14-all. And then a 17. Then they kicked field goals. Made it 10. Made it 16-all. They made it a 16-all, but then Oregon finally managed to make it a game by kicking a field goal. They scored a touchdown to make it 17. And I say again, 17. And when that happened, all hell broke loose for actually, here it is. I found the wrong page. I'm so sorry. We'll try this again. In the first quarter, Ohio State took on Oregon. Brandon Sane, number 33, Ohio State's Brandon Sane, ran in from 13-yard, got a 13-yard pass from number 2, Terrell Pryor. The number 20, Aaron Petrie, made the extra point, 7-0. Then Devin Barclay from Ohio State made the field goal, 19-yard field goal to make it 10-0. Then Oregon's number 7, Morgan Flint, or I can't remember what, I didn't write his number down, but I think it was 7, made the field goal to make it 10-3. Then Oregon again the second quarter, LeGarrette Blount, number 27, scored the touchdown with Flint making an extra point, tying it up at 10. Then Barclay kicked in the third quarter, kicked the field goal to make it 13-10 from 30 yards out. Then again, this time Petrie from 45 yards out to make it 16-10. Then Jeremiah Malalsi from 1 yard out and then Flint makes an extra point to take the lead from Ohio State, 17-16. But then Barclay kicks the 38-yard field goal to make it 19-17 to retake the lead. The number 8, DeVere Posey, gets a pass gets a 17-yard pass from Pryor. Then Petrie makes an extra point to make it 26-17. And then we get our then we jump 4 years later to the national title game, when Marcus Mariota throws a 7-yard pass to number 7, Thomas Tyner, to then Aiden Schneider, number 12, makes extra point, given the 7-0 lead. Then number 15, Ezekiel Elliott, runs 33 yards to get a score. Then number 96, Sean Nurnberger, ties it up at 7. Then number 81, Nick Vanat, gets a 1-yard pass from number 12, Cardell Jones. And then Nurnberger kicks it up, makes it 14-7. Then the second quarter, Nurnberger. Jones gets it run from 1 yard out. Nurnberger kicks to take a 21-7 lead. Then Schneider again, 26-yard field goal, 21-10. The number 9, Byron Marshall, 70-yard pass from Mariota. Schneider kicks extra point, 21-17. Schneider again, 21-20. We got a game here. But then things kind of fire up for Ohio State as Elliott, 9 yards out. Nurnberger kick, 28-20. Then the fourth quarter, Elliott, 2 yards out. Nurnberger kicks, 35-20. And then Elliott from 1 yard out. Nurnberger kick, 42-20. That's 2014 Rose Bowl. Now we jump to 2021. Oregon 35, Ohio State 28. The biggest letdown ever. Oregon, number 7, C.J. Verdell gets a 14, runs it in from 14 yards out. Number 49, Camden Lewis makes the extra point good, 7-0. Then number 5, Garrett Wilson gets a 27-yard pass from number 7, C.J. Stroud. Number 95, Noah Ruggles ties it up at 7. Then Verdell gets a 14-yard pass from number 13, Anthony Brown. Lewis kicks extra point in to make it 14-all. Then in the third quarter, Verdell gets a 77-yard run. Lewis kicks extra point, 21-7. Then number 11, Jackson Smith and Jimma gets a 26-yard pass from Stroud. Ruggles kicks 21-14. Then number 26, Travis Guy gets a 5-yard, runs in for 5 yards out. Lewis kicks extra point, 28-14. Fourth quarter, OSU kind of comes back. Travion Henderson, 2-yard run. Ruggles kicks extra point, 28-21. The Malik Matavova, 14-yard pass from Brown. Lewis kicks 35-21. The Smith Najimba from Ohio State, 15-yard pass from Stroud. Ruggles kicks. That'd be all she wrote in that game. Such a big disappointment for Ohio State. But it is what it is. You can't deny that. But that's how it all pretty much all came down to its disappointments. But everyone has its disappointments. But the funny thing about between Ohio State and Oregon is Ohio State met Oregon in 2 bowl games and a national title game. While Michigan versus Oregon, Michigan has never played Oregon in a single bowl game. Never. Not one time has Michigan ever played them in a bowl game. You can look at the stats. In every game Michigan won against Oregon, Oregon never scored a point. They were shut out. While Oregon I'll give you those stats when we get closer to them playing each other. But that's for another date. Now, with that being said, hit the like button, hit the bell for notifications. With that being said, I'm out of here. Peace.